Before nylon, before the age of disposable plastic, there existed a fabric that could survive war, weather, and decades of use. A cloth so tough that soldiers trusted it in trenches, sailors relied on it at sea, and explorers wrapped their lives in it. Then, almost overnight, it vanished, replaced by thin sheets of synthetic convenience. But in a world drowning in plastic waste, this forgotten waterproof canvas is quietly returning, proving once again that old ingenuity often beats modern marketing. Ask any camper, prepper, or farmer today. Plastic tarps are everywhere. They're cheap, they're light, and they fail at the worst possible moment. One good storm, and corners tear apart. A few months of sunlight, and the material turns brittle, shattering like glass. The truth? These tarps were never meant to last. They were designed for replacement, not survival. But our ancestors didn't have that luxury. When your life or your livelihood depended on staying dry, you needed something better than temporary. Long before synthetics existed, armies, sailors, and craftsmen used a cloth called oilcloth, or waxed canvas. It was made from recycled cotton canvas, soaked and sealed with natural oils and beeswax. It didn't need plastic coatings or chemical sprays, only patience and skill. And the result was a material that could face years of wind, salt, and rain, and only grow stronger with age. This idea wasn't born in a lab, it came from pure necessity. Sailmakers on wooden ships discovered that when they rubbed oil into old sails, the fabric repelled water. Later, field engineers during World War II refined the recipe, boiled linseed oil, beeswax, and pine resin. Every piece of worn-out tent canvas or cotton sack was melted, patched, and treated again. Nothing was wasted. Every fiber was reborn into something useful: ponchos, tarps, bedrolls, and stretcher covers. A single sheet might serve 3 or 4 lifetimes before it was finally retired. So, what made it work? The answer lies in the way cotton behaves. Cotton fibers swell when exposed to moisture, tightening the weave and closing microscopic gaps. When you coat those fibers with oil and wax, they repel rain, yet still breathe. Unlike plastic, which traps condensation underneath, waxed canvas lets vapor escape slowly, preventing mildew, rot, and that clammy feeling inside tents. It's nature and chemistry working together, not against each other. And here's where it outclasses any modern tarp: repairability. When a waxed canvas sheet rips, you don't throw it away, you fix it. A little heat and a touch of wax seals the fibers again. Plastic can't do that. Once torn, it's done. That's why pre-war explorers and military engineers trusted it in storms that would shred synthetic fabric today. They didn't just use it. They depended on it. During World War II, every branch of service used some form of waxed canvas. British forces carried it as ground sheets and rain capes. American engineers used it to cover weapons, trucks, and aircraft parts. Naval crews wrapped their gear in it to keep salt water at bay. Even medics used waxed canvas stretchers because they stayed dry, disinfected easily, and didn't rip under strain. This wasn't luxury equipment. It was survival engineering at its purest form. So what happened? After the war, industry changed. Synthetic fibers like nylon and polyethylene flooded the market. They were cheap, shiny, and promised maintenance-free waterproofing. Factories could mass-produce plastic in days, while waxed canvas took weeks to cure. The old process was too slow for a disposable world. By the 1960s, the ancient recipe had nearly disappeared, surviving only among old sailors, tent makers, and bushcraft enthusiasts. But now, history has a strange way of looping back. As preppers, off-grid builders, and eco-craftsmen seek durability over convenience, waxed canvas is reappearing. People are realizing you don't need petroleum to stay dry. You just need knowledge, passed down from a time when gear was meant to endure. And unlike plastic, every piece of canvas you make is biodegradable. When it finally wears out, it returns to the earth instead of clogging landfills for centuries. Creating your own waterproof cloth doesn't require a factory, just patience. Start with heavy cotton canvas or denim, something without synthetic blends. Melt together equal parts beeswax and boiled linseed oil until smooth. Brush it onto warm, dry fabric and let the fibers absorb it. As it cools, the wax solidifies within the weave, sealing it from rain. You can hang it to cure for a day or two, then lightly heat it again to even out the finish. That's it. No microplastics, no chemical fumes, just traditional waterproofing reborn. Once treated, this fabric becomes a multi-tool in itself. As a tarp, it resists tearing and flapping in high winds. As a ground sheet, it blocks dampness but allows slow evaporation, keeping sleeping bags dry. It's quieter, heavier, and tougher than any synthetic alternative, perfect for stealth camping or long-term bush setups. And the longer you use it, the better it becomes. The surface polishes, the fibers tighten, and the character deepens like aged leather. Modern homesteaders are using waxed canvas again for tool covers, woodpile tarps, and compost sheets. Because it breathes, it prevents mold on stored firewood. Farmers still stretch it over hay bales. Gardeners use it to protect soil beds. And in emergencies, a single piece can serve as a poncho, pack wrap, hammock base, or even a stretcher. That versatility, born in wartime, still makes sense today, when reliability is worth more than convenience. In an age obsessed with eco-friendly marketing, the irony is clear. Our great-grandparents already solved it. Waxed canvas was sustainable before sustainability was a word. No plastic waste, no toxic runoff, just cotton, beeswax, and time. It's a material that represents more than function. It embodies a philosophy: repair what you have, make it last, and pass it down. That mindset built entire generations of gear that outlived their owners. From the decks of naval ships to the forests of Scandinavia, this fabric carried soldiers, explorers, and tradesmen through every kind of climate. It's part of a forgotten legacy of practical design, crafted by people who couldn't afford failure. Every fold, every patch, every layer of wax told a story of endurance. And in that story lies a lesson. Technology doesn't always mean progress. Sometimes the old way is the right way. Relearning how to make and maintain materials like this isn't nostalgia. It's self-reliance. It's about independence from disposable supply chains and fragile imports. It's about knowing that if the world stopped shipping tomorrow, you could still build what you need. That's what soldiers understood in the 1940s. That's what craftsmen still understand today. Bringing back waxed canvas is more than a craft. It's a quiet rebellion against waste. So if you believe survival should be durable, not disposable, if you value the strength of human hands over factory plastic, then this is the knowledge worth keeping alive. Because when the rain comes and everything modern begins to crumble, the old ways will still keep you dry. Subscribe for more stories of forgotten ingenuity, wartime invention, and real survival craftsmanship, where history teaches us how to build again. Thanks for watching.